it's still relevant, it still resonates, and it's still real.
I see things that I saw all the time back then, all this gold and black leather and the colorful shirts, and so it's really like coming back into the 1990s again.
Gianni Versace had a really strong connection with London, and this exhibition itself has been re-curated by the lovely curators Saskia and Carl to really highlight those connections to London.
You can really deep into the world of Gianni Versace, and it's an Italian world. We all understand it, even people not born in Italy understand it, because Italian culture is European culture, is Western culture. We know all these patterns, everybody knows.
So obviously it first started with the man itself, right? So we're having this historical genius and we're working with him since 2017. So we basically know like every day, almost what he's doing every day. And it's always a new challenge because we go into a new museum or we go to a new place. And this time we're here in London. So obviously we wanted to work especially on the connection between Gianni and London. And what is more beautiful than having this entrée, like entering the exhibition and standing basically in Elton John's closet. He was not just a big fan, he was the closest friend of him, he was a collector, he was a musician. So Elton John was also so much the same like Gianni, yeah? He revolutionized fashion, and I think what you can feel when you enter and seeing this massive art installation, they all are a piece of art, and that was his revolution. He could make out of one reference a total new world, because he used the method of pop culture, like Andy Warhol did, right? So he made everyday garments, in this case the shirt, into a piece of art. And I think that was our starting point. And then we continued and said, okay, but we're in London and still the people need to know he's Italian, right? Okay. He's from the south of Italy, and this is very important because it's about handcraft work. It's about the innovations. It's about what kind of references he took from there, because he was his roots are Greek, right? So he used them in his designs. Medusa is the Greek mythology, is his logo, is the essence of his brand, you know, like saying you cannot look away from this design or from this Medusa, so you will always fall in love again with this. And then we continued and said, then you will enter the space of, where you will meet all the British icons, because it was his second home. It was his, I think in his heart it was his second home. All the connections to Princess Diana, to Elton John, to Kate Moss, but also to Naomi, which was his forever muse. And then we're having another kind of station in this exhibition, which shows his career. But from the starting point, more or less, from the 80s, going into the 90s, and then finishing at late 90s. And I think it's really nice because then the visitor even get an idea of how the time was moving, you know? Like when it started with the stock market speculations and all the people that had a lot of money to put in marketing, all these campaigns, these expensive models. So he really tried then from coming from just the material, what he learned in his mother's atelier, to using this and try to create a kind of new dress code for the rich people, for the nouveau riche, but also for people like Elton John who wanted to have something extravagant, something special, something not like the normal daily things. And then you will entering again another space. which is the last one of his period, which is much more Diana. So it's the post-divorce image of Diana. And he was also the designer who helped her getting this transformation from this post-divorce Diana to a strong Diana, a pure Diana, a rebirth Diana, basically. So I think you really have here different kind of stations, all very emotional, to discover his roots, going over to what was going on in the society, what means fashion, like what means quality in fashion, and anyways, how he could combine it with music, fashion, glamour, and yeah, and that's, I think it's just, he was just a genius, so yeah.
What's the main messages that you want from people who will come to attend the exhibition, take away from the exhibition, from the Gianni Versace's legacy in itself?
Exactly, he was a legacy, and that's, I think, it's still relevant, it still resonates, and it's still real. So I think people will go in here and will think, wow, this fashion is still alive. It's like, was this really in the 80s and 90s? Feel like now, you know? And I think it's so beautiful to inspire people and showing what means actually quality and what means really design, not copying. I mean, he copied in a completely different way, but not copying, you know? Like can you try to be creative, or is now everything done by the artificial intelligence, or can you also be creative? So I think it should be just an emotional journey you should take, and should understand he's coming from the South and how he made himself to be such a genius and to turn the world upside down. And I think this is just so lovely, hearing the music, his voices, all these campaign images, all these colors, these prints. I think in this world when everything is so sad and so terrible, this makes you maybe a bit more joyful. And I think that's what we try to do with our exhibition.
What's your best memory about Gianni Versace as you work with?
Well, probably best memory with the person Gianni was, we went to London together for the book signing of Men Without Ties, which I'm on the cover of. So me, Donatella Versace, Naomi Campbell had the book signing here in London, and then we went to Elton John's house to have lunch, and so we had a wonderful day together, all of us, and it was very nice. And as far as work, I think the campaign I did with Stephanie Seymour, shot by Richard Avedon, that was probably my favorite pictures ever. Yeah, that was very special.
Having a walk around the exhibition and looking at what Gianni Versace made over his career, during his career, what's your feeling?
Well, it brings back memories, seeing all this colorful clothing and really beautiful pieces. Because you don't see it today so much anymore. So walking in there, I feel like I'm in a time capsule back to the 1990s, and it's special. You know, I see things that I saw all the time back then. All this gold and black leather and the colorful shirts, and so it's really like coming back into the 1990s again.
If you want to share any tips to the audience who will come to attend, to enjoy the exhibition, what would you like to share in order to make the most of the exhibition, but also the Gianni Versace legacy?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. There's over 450 pieces in here right now, so it's quite a large area, and they have film, they're from fashion shows and all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot to take in, and I think I would recommend going through the entire area here and see everything, because it's really well made. I think they made an amazing production for this event here. Got a lot of stuff, so I would say
just come and enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a managing director of the gallery, how important is hosting a Gianni Versace exhibition?
Well, it's really important to us because Gianni Versace had a really strong connection with London, and this exhibition itself has been recurated by the lovely curators Saskia and Carl to really highlight those connections to London. So, you know, we have Elton John, George Michael, Princess Diana, Liz Hurley, Sting. I mean, the list is really long.
Full of British people.
Full of British people who worked hand in hand
Yes.
with Versace because he was a great influencer. He was an architect of the 1990s, and his story, along with the story of all those celebrities who joined him on that journey, really sort of encapsulate that time for us. And the 90s right now is really having a comeback. People are very interested in that time period. There's a real nostalgia for it.
How did he start this new project, which celebrates Gianni Versace's legacy?
Yeah, that's what we do, actually. We celebrate the legacy of Gianni Versace, and that is our task, and we do that now since 2017, many years, and we work with him every day. We have the feeling that we know his life exactly, 365 days every year, and every exhibition is curated from scratch again. It's not a traveling exhibition because we always learn more about him. And of course, we know that he had relationships to people in different countries and different cities, and a lot and very close contacts to London especially. Therefore, we have a very, very big focus, important focus on Britain and London in this exhibition. And that will never happen again.
What's the best memory, your own personal memory about Gianni Versace and your relationship?
I never met him in person. I met a lot of people who worked with him and met him in person. And for us, he became almost a part of our family, a part of our La Familia, because he is so close, and all the people around him we work with are so close to us. We have a daily contact, and that is what we know and feel similar to him. He loved to have a group of people working together, not to be alone. And his own familia, but even this wider familia, with, for example, Elton John and other friends. And that's the same way we work, actually, and we understand him. And that is really a good memory.
What's the main message that you want audience will come to attend the exhibition, take away from this exhibition?
You can really deep into the world of Gianni Versace, and it's an Italian world. We all understand it, even people not born in Italy understand it, because Italian culture is European culture, is Western culture. We know all these patterns, everybody else. And therefore, I think you can deepen your understanding of our roots, the Italian roots and European roots, if you see him in this context. Because he understood himself as somebody who was reflecting this culture, working with this culture, and he did that in a really genius way.